Humans versus machines is a story as old as the history of automation. Whether in the fields or the factories, with the invention of new technology always comes the promise of a revolution in the way we work, and just as surely, fears that jobs that can now be done by machines will not be replaced. After an unsettling transition period, new jobs have always evolved. Is it different this time?
I believe we are now at the moment where the technology is finally there, when the disruption is going to happen, and the fact that it's, that we've had these false alarms so many times in the past really makes it difficult for people to accept this. And so that's where a lot of the resistance comes from, I think.
Martin Ford's book, The Rise of the Robots, winner of this year's Financial Times and McKinsey Business Book of the Year award, paints a bleak picture of a future in which machines displace humans in all but a few high-end roles. He prescribes radical economic solutions, including a universal citizen's dividend, but warns that disruption will extend to professionals who may previously have considered themselves immune.
We see an impact now on entry-level journalism and on document review in law firms. I think that will scale out. It will begin to impact really anyone that's doing any kind of routine analysis or writing, reports to upper management where you come in and you do the same type of work again and again. All of that is going to be susceptible eventually.
But technologists, such as those working at the forefront of cognitive technology at IBM, see the future differently. More sophisticated machines will work in tandem with humans, opening up new possibilities in areas of work as yet unimagined, just as the last wave of computer-driven change created the profession of software engineer.
In the future, when we get into this world of large-scale data, knowledge, and cognitive systems, I think there's going to be a similar kind of new profession in the area of what I would call knowledge engineering, which has many aspects to it. It starts from taking raw data and cleansing, enriching, curating the data for consumption by these cognitive assistants. But it also goes all the way up to creating and representing knowledge from different areas, which needs to be complemented by the more statistical machine learning kinds of approaches that need to be applied to large-scale raw data.
IBM's Watson, the highest profile cognitive system, has already taken on and beaten human beings at quiz shows. But Banavar sees such technology as a way of assisting human experts, not supplanting them.
Well, my view is that there are so many dimensions of intelligence that in fact there are many unknown unknowns about what intelligence means. We argue about it, but we don't really understand. We're only scratching the surface of intelligence. So I think a better approach for us right now would be to build machines that augment human intelligence, that solve practical problems, and that help us deal with the huge amount of data and knowledge that's being generated in the world.
As office workers adapt to new technologies, both Banavar and Ford believe computers will help them in the transition to the new era by educating them in new ways and teaching them new skills. But the key to whether this transformation undermines or merely unsettles economies and societies lies in how far and how fast the change progresses.
I think even people that don't entirely buy into this idea of extensive automation would agree that clearly things are going to move faster and faster in the future. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that opportunities and perhaps entire occupations are going to evaporate. People will, if they want to remain relevant, have to retrain or find something else to do. So I think the most important thing going forward is to be in a position where you're equipped to do that.
Ultimately, techno-optimists and pessimists may not be as far apart as they seem, that the revolutionary nature of cognitive technology could hold great promise. Both agree on the need for individuals, businesses and societies to adapt. Both think that education and re-education can smooth the transition. But the areas where they do differ, critically on the pace and scale of the change, are full of uncertainty. Who is right will determine whether the rise of the robots leads to a brighter future for many workers or a much darker one. Andrew Hill, Financial Times, London.